What's going on, guys? In this video, I want to talk about a subject that, I don't know, it might be divisive, but it's like a growing trend right now, primarily on TikTok, but I'm seeing it more and more, and it's kind of aggravating. Anyway, I don't want to say aggravating because it's not like it bothers me, but I think it's a little ridiculous. So let's talk about it, okay? Let's talk about dry scooping and using pre-workout in general. Check it out. All right, guys, let me preface this subject with this. If you do this and you believe that there's benefit to it, then more power to you, man. I'm not here to kind of tell you how to live your life, but this is just my opinion on the matter. And if you feel what I'm saying, then maybe it's just something to consider, like as far as stopping it. What we're talking about here is dry scooping. I'm just seeing, I don't know how this became a thing, but on TikTok and even on Instagram stories and everything, it's become like a full-blown thing. People just, they have little scoop, their little dry scoop, and I'm talking about dry scooping pre-workout specifically. They have their little scooper and let's go work out, and they take their little shit and gargle the water. Sometimes it goes right down, other times it doesn't. There's a lot of sneezing afterwards. Sometimes they just like spit the whole thing out all over their car. Usually these videos are done in the car or in the room, the locker room or the restroom. Then they do their little dance. So it's just getting more and more popular. And these fitness influencers are really like pushing this like it's the cool thing to do. And to me, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just too old and I'm not on the current trends, but I just think it's a little ridiculous. Just at the baseline of this subject, why can't you just put the pre-workout in a shaker cup? I always have shaker cups. I have them in my gym, I have them in my gym bag, I have them at home. I throw ingredients into the shaker cup with some water and I shake it up and I drink it. Outside of that, when I ever took pre-workout before, I would shake it up in my shaker cup, or there was pre-workouts like L-carnitine or glutamine or certain kinds of supplements. If I took them prior, I would take them in a pill form maybe. I know at one point I was taking creatine before workout and they had droplets. Anyway, I just don't understand the dry scooping. On the rare occasion that I've put powder, and this was back when we were training, we didn't have a shaker. We would take our protein and put it in our mouth and then try to drink it. And I always choked on that stuff. So I don't understand the appeal to doing that. Unless it's trying to show off that you can take the powder down without water or just put the water in afterwards and okay, great. You've mastered that technique. But if that's all it is, I don't see any other benefits to it. At the end of the whole dry scooping conversation, I don't understand the appeal of choking on some dry powder that truly does need water to process its ingredients. So I don't see any benefits if you even need the pre-workout. So let's go to my next subject as far as, do you even need to be taking pre-workout? I went through a phase in my 20s and 30s, or when I thought I was bodybuilding, and I was taking pre-workout. And you get this impression that you're getting all these things that you need prior to your workout, whether it be creatine, or now it's more about I think the appeal of the dry scooping is more on the bodybuilding side. As I understand it, I think the appeal of taking pre-workout is more about the pump that it gives you during the workout. But if you're taking the pre-workout chasing a pump because, whatever's in there, I remember some of it would like just make my skin burn. So I get it. It makes you feel like you're getting this heavy pump. But is it a lasting effect? Do those ingredients and does it have a lasting effect? Or is it just a temporary thing to trick you into believing that this stuff is helping you in the long term as far as what you're chasing? Again, I generally see people who consider themselves to be in the bodybuilding realm doing a lot of this. And I understand that in that realm, the pump is kind of like what you're chasing. With that aside, I'm not a bodybuilder. And even if you were a bodybuilder, I just feel like, wouldn't you want to naturally be able to get to that point and not have it like artificially pushed into your bloodstream so that, you don't know if you're really getting it from the workout, or if you're getting it from these ingredients that may or may not have long-term positive effects for your goals. I am an athlete. And I understand, look, I'm not trying to start an argument. Bodybuilders are athletes, yes. But I'm an athlete. I'm a functional athlete. I'm a martial athlete. The things I do, pre-workout just does not benefit me. And that's going to take me to my next thing. Don't you want to have the natural ability to work out? Like when people are on pre-workout and they're dry scooping this stuff, trust me, I've been down this road. And if you're on this stuff now, you know what I'm talking about. You get to a point where you become dependent. I wouldn't say addicted, but you become dependent mentally. And maybe it's a mental addiction, not so much a chemical addiction. But you become dependent on the pre-workout where you truly believe that you can't get a good workout unless you have your pre-workout. So when you go without your pre-workout, you're run down. And you are feeling that way because you're used to being pumped full of stimulants that you don't know how to truly get up for a workout naturally. Let's just cover that real quick. All those things that are in there are not good for you. The amount of sugar that's in there, the amount of caffeine that's in there, you are setting yourself up for a serious crash. My 2 cents on that is that if you cannot work out naturally with just the type of calories that you're bringing into your body to fuel you, then you are not, you're missing the boat here, guys. You're missing a grand opportunity to truly be fit. I may have a skewed point of view because from what I do, okay, I need to be natural. I train 3 to 4 hours a day. I do my strength conditioning in the morning. I do jujitsu. I do boxing. I do Muay Thai. With all those multiple disciplines and getting a little bit of rest in between and then knocking out another hour of training, if you do these things, you know what I'm talking about. But I have to have sustained energy for that. I can't be taking scoops or shaker bottles full of pre-workout between every single one of those sessions. I have to be able to produce the energy I need naturally. Also, guys, man, I'm in my 40s. I'm pushing midlife, and I don't use any of that stuff. And I train 2 to 4 hours a day in multiple disciplines. I'm proud of the fact that I don't need any of those stimulants. So you got to ask yourself, do you really need that stuff? And have you become dependent on it? And could you walk away from it tomorrow? Of course you could. But I would just suggest that you try to get to where you want to be as natural as possible. Lastly, all the TikTokers and all these YouTubers and social media influencers, fitness influencers overall, any platform you're on, I don't know if you care or not, but you have kids following you, right? You've got teenagers that are still going through puberty, or maybe they're a little past that, but they're still teenagers. And they're watching these videos and they're taking all this stuff. The worst I'm seeing now is these people, these kids, teens, 20s, whatever, they take the pre-workout and then chase it with an energy drink. And now, on top of that, they're challenging each other to take multiple scoops of pre-workout to see what happens to their body. I ended up in the ER one time with a strained muscle in my chest, but it was chest pain, so I didn't know if something was my heart or not. The first thing they ask you when you get in the hospital is, have you taken any pre-workout? I asked the doctor, is that a thing? And he said, yes. You wouldn't believe, and I quote, you wouldn't believe how many people we get in here who think they're having a heart attack, and it's pre-workout. If you're an influencer, you are who you are. If you're a role model, you're a role model. If you're not, you're not. It is what it is. But if you are a fitness influencer, I assume that your goal is to make people better through fitness. So chew on that for a little bit. In conclusion, you have to ask yourself, do you really need this stuff? Do you really need pre-workout? Have you properly researched the ingredients to see if they are of benefit to you? And in that research, have you determined if they are really helping you in the long term? And if you feel that you check all those boxes and you still want to be on that stuff, then you got to ask yourself, is there a benefit to dry scooping aside from just trying to get something cool you perceive to be cool posted in your story or on your TikTok? Okay, guys. So coming from a Generation Xer who's been working out for well over 30 years in multiple sports and disciplines and strength training regimens, that's my dime in the bucket. You can take it or leave it. Again, it's just something I started to see, and I just wanted to share my opinion on the matter. I hope you enjoy the content. As always, keep fighting for fit, no excuses. And be sure to like and subscribe so we can keep this thing going. And I will see you guys in the next video.